I can't believe we live in a timeline where we not only have a season 2, a season 3, but now a season 4 of Classroom of the Elite. And I swear, man, each time there's a new season, the entire community gets together, praying to whatever deity of choice to let it be animated by anyone other than Lurche. And when it inevitably is Lurche, we start the copium, rinse and repeat. However, with the new teaser drop, things are a bit different this time, so let's break down what's happening in the trailer, what people are saying, especially the Japanese community, because some of their takes floored me. But before I get into the video, spoiler alert, because I'm gonna be talking about what's happening in the trailer, but I will try to make sure to keep spoilers to a minimum. In the opening scene, we see a hooded figure, and at first I thought this was Ayanokoji, but looking it over, it isn't, because this scene is a clever way to hint at the main storyline for the entire season, the White Room student plot. We saw this hinted at the end of season 3 where Ayanokoji and Tsukishiro make a bet. Tsukishiro will invite a single White Room student to come expel Ayanokoji, but if Ayanokoji can figure out who that is, Tsukishiro will back off. And the hooded figure is that White Room student. And it's such a smart angle with the hood as well because you can't tell the hair color, the gender, no nothing, keeping the mystery intact. And in the next scene, we see Ayanokoji carefully messing about with his phone, hinting at the introduction of another important mechanic in the school, the OAA, which stands for Overall Ability. It's an app introduced in the second year that basically takes all your accomplishments and turns them into stats with things like academics, physical, adaptability, and social contribution. Now, academics and physical are pretty self-explanatory, but adaptability is an interesting reference to the White Room. But in this context, it measures critical thinking and social skills, while your social contribution is good behavior or, lack of, and your extracurriculars like the student council. By the way, here are Ayanokoji's OAA stats, which are without a doubt accurate, and there is nothing illegal going on over here. Maybe if he put a bit more effort into tea ceremony and calligraphy, these numbers would go up. The OAA comes from Nagumo and is part of his legacy to make the school a meritocracy where individual skill is everything. Because now it's basically public if you're holding your class back, or is it the other way around? And of course, the next scene is Horikita's new look following her touching moment back in season 3. And one of the funniest things about this moment is showing how petty Kushida can be. Because after seeing Horikita's hair, Kushida decides that she's gonna grow hers out, but Ayanokoji knows what's up. The only reason Kushida wants to do that is because she can't stand the fact that the girl she hates has the same hair as her. Bro, this girl is so unhinged. And next up, we get to the good stuff because we get to meet all the new first years. And remember, any one of them could be the White Room student. And they know what they're doing because they're definitely starting off with a banger. This girl is Ichika, and I'm already calling it. She's gonna be one of, if not the best part of season 4. She is pure and utter chaos, and I love her. Personally, out of all the new Year 2 characters, Ichika is my favorite, tied with another girl that we're unfortunately not gonna be able to see. So I won't talk about her, even though I really want to. Ichika is a take on the devilish kohai or, cheeky underclassman trope we see all over anime, but with a surprising level of depth. And each scene with her is so much fun, especially her interactions with Ayanokoji, because there is nothing better than mixing the emotionless with the emotion full. And wait till you see her scene with Ayanokoji and Kei, you are gonna die laughing. It's pure cinema. But Ichika isn't just fun in games because she's both physically gifted and academically gifted, starting in class 1A, so the same arena as Arisu. And the trailer seems to be going in order because next up we have Yagami from class 1B. You'll notice Yagami holding on to a girl's hands, and that's Kushida, by the way, because they share history, coming from the same middle school. And if you remember what Kushida does to people that come from the same place as her, alarm bells should be ringing. And to top it all off, Yagami has a massive crush on Kushida. And I get it. Take out all the crazy and she's super cute. Or, don't take out the crazy. Some guys like that. Yagami is calm, confident, and great at talking to people, and just like Ichika, according to his OAA, Yagami is super smart. And next up, we have the duo from 1C, Utomiya and Tsubaki, who make a phenomenal duo because they cover each other's weaknesses. Tsubaki is a strategist similar to Arisu, and if it gets animated, these two are gonna have a hell of a scene. It's gonna be like a chess match, but in real life. While Utomiya is one of the new fighters introduced in the second year, boasting a high physical rating. He's usually calm and collected, but will throw hands if he's provoked, and the person doing the provoking is none other than Hosen. For Hosen, violence isn't an answer. Violence is the question, and the answer is a resounding yes. If you like fights, this is your guy. In his first scene alone, he picks a fight with Horikita and Sudo, and later on, Ruin, Ibuki, and Ishizaki. And it ends exactly like you'd expect, with Ibuki getting absolutely bodied. I swear, after that one fight in season 1, it's all downhill for her. If you're an anime-only watcher, did you know there's an entire scene that the anime skipped where Ayanokoji completely demolishes Ibuki? Like, I'm not talking about the scene with Ruin, there's another scene in the very next volume where Ibuki gets beat up again, and on top of all of that, she's broke. Okay, I'm getting off topic here. Ruin and Hosen have history. Just like Kushida and Yagami, they come from the same area, being legends in their own right, but never having crossed paths. Until now. And I love Ruin and Hosen's dynamic because it's so fun to watch Ruin fight someone in his own weight class. Because the only sin Ruin has committed is being in the same cinematic universe as our boy. I'm gonna make videos on this at some point because people need to see Ruin's brilliance without Ayanokoji's involvement. But Hosen isn't the only 1D member, and they did save one of the best for last, Nanase. Alright, I'm just gonna say it, while I do like Ichika's personality more, Nanase is without a doubt one of the cutest girls Classroom of the Elite has ever introduced. Her design is a 10 out of 10, no questions asked, and that's a tall bar to meet, given the steep competition. Nanase is calm and polite, but incredibly perceptive, being able to keep up in conversation with Horikita, despite their gap in experience. However, what really sets her apart is her unfiltered hatred for Ayanokoji. Ayanokoji has never met Nanase before, but she holds a deep resentment for him, calling him wicked and filthy right to his face. So now that we've talked about all the new faces, let's address the elephant in the room, which is Ayanokoji's new design. Without a doubt, this was the most heated discussion, and by heated discussion, I mean people ripping it apart. I saw so many comments about how it's childish, how it doesn't fit his cold, calculating persona. And honestly, I agree. It's such a departure from season 2 and 3 that you'd have a hard time telling they're the same show. Actually, I remember seeing a comment of this one guy being so hyped because he thought this entire promo was a fan-made trailer. And he's all like, oh, you did such a good job for a fan-made trailer. And then people had to correct him that this was the actual promo put out by Kadokawa. Bro, I was dying. And comparing it to the gold standard for Ayanokoji, that's season 1, forget hitting the mark, it didn't even come close. It was so different that I wanted to know where did they pull the inspiration from. So I went looking, which by the way, was not easy. Classroom of the Elite has what, 31 books? 4 different manga and so much promotional art? Even across the novels themselves, the art for Ayanokoji is not consistent. But after I came across the illustrations for the year 2 novels, it's clear as day. This is where they pulled it from. Just putting them side by side, it becomes obvious. Which is good news and bad news. The bad news being that if you like season 1 Ayanokoji, you are absolutely cooked. This is not gonna be a good time. But on the bright side, if they're sticking closer to the book art style, maybe they'll stick closer to the book story. I hope, as I huff a metric ton of copium. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about the design for the other characters, and it's super omega nuclear spoilers, so if you have to leave, go now. Alright, Yagami is one of the White Room students, and he's the one who hates Ayanokoji with a passion of a million suns. Yagami is vicious, he's arrogant, he's willing to hurt even his own allies to vent his anger. So everyone looking at this cute puppy dog were like, what the hell, where is my cold-blooded villain? And here is where I'm gonna push back because I think Yagami's design is brilliant and I wouldn't change a single thing. When I first saw Yagami in the season 4 poster, I was so disappointed because he looked like your run-of-the-middle isekai protagonist. But this new design where he's cute and harmless is fantastic because this is what Yagami wants you to see. However, all of this is with the caveat that when we get to see Yagami's real side, it should look like it. It should be just as vicious as the things running through his head. And as far as everyone else goes, I have no real complaints, but the winner, without a doubt, is Nanase. She undoubtedly looks the best in this trailer. Especially that look she gives Ayanokoji just as she's walking away, that's spicy. However, the Japanese fans had a completely different reaction. Now, disclaimer, I am not Japanese. I cannot speak Japanese. I'm just a dummy armed with Google Translate, so take that for what you will. But looking under the official Kadokawa channel, forget complaining about the designs, there were a lot of people praising it. And I think I get why, because Classroom of the Elite is one of the biggest light novels running in Japan forever now. The Western fanbase is big, but it's nothing compared to the Japanese fanbase, and the light novel is what's popular. I'm gonna take a guess that the Japanese fans are well acquainted with this design. The first volume for year 2 came out in 2020, so it's already been more than half a decade. So for them, rather than changing up the design, it's probably more like, oh, so we're going back to what we know. And conversely for us Western fans, I don't know about you, but the way I got into Classroom of the Elite is through season 1. I picked up the books because I was so tired of waiting for a season 2. I had the same situation with No Game No Life and Grimgar. And I liked the book so much that it inspired me to start this entire channel because I was just like, the people need to know. For me, season 1 Ayanokoji is Ayanokoji. That's the design I grew up with. And when I read the books, I had to adjust to the new designs, so I totally get where people are coming from. But I will tell you one thing, you and the Japanese fans have something in common because the worry I saw from them was about the plot. They want the facts to be right, to not cut out content, to do the series justice even if it takes a long time. Lots of comments showing respect for the writing, and honestly, that's based. I 100% feel the same way. Take the time, do more episodes, give Classroom of the Elite the love it deserves. After watching so many light novel adaptations, I'm convinced that if you don't do 24 episodes per season, you are cutting out the heart of the story. Every great light novel adaptation I've seen has 24 episodes per season. So I don't understand for what ungodly reason Classroom of the Elite, one of the biggest light novels running in Japan forever now, gets 13 episodes. Make it make sense. I am hoping that they do not fumble, but if they do, it is what it is. I'm just gonna sit here and farm content, make the best of a bad situation. But hey, don't let my pessimism fool you because I am very much looking forward to season 4. I think I addressed this in the comments on my last video. When I was doing the summaries, the reason I didn't read ahead isn't because I didn't want to, it's because I physically didn't have the time to. Those things take a long time to make. And one of the favorite parts of my hiatus was being able to sit back and read the books at my own pace. And surprisingly enough, I loved year 2. And I say surprising because going into year 2, everyone was telling me, man, this is gonna suck, you're gonna hate it, it's not as good as year 1. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie to your face. Yeah, it isn't as good as year 1, but that doesn't mean it's not good. I've read the entire story twice now, and year 1 is just a masterpiece. Especially the hidden plots, the characterizations, the depth of the writing. I've read so many novels, there is nothing else like this. But that's not to say year 2 wasn't great. It just had ridiculously hard competition. And there are without a doubt moments in year 2 that stack up against year 1 and some that even surpass it. In fact, volume 0 is in competition to be one of my favorite volumes in the entire series. When I come out with the second part of the last video I dropped, oh my bro, it's gonna be so good. There are so many themes and good characterization in it. And I got to read all of this like last year, so to get an anime announcement right after, it was like Christmas. So yeah, I plan on continuing the summary videos, hit all the way to year 2, hopefully to year 3. I plan on doing analysis stuff because there's so much left and so much more I discovered. And I want to make videos like this as well, for stuff in between. But I am a bit impatient, so the next few videos are going to be about year 2, but more specifically about season 4. So look out for that, and I'm going to post it right over here as soon as it's done.